Welcome to this tutorial on solid waste management by composting technology. What is waste? Any material unused or rejected as worthless or unwanted is considered as waste. Waste is also known as rubbish, trash, refuse, garbage, and junk. There are different types of waste: solid waste, liquid waste, gaseous waste, animal byproducts, biodegradable waste, chemical, commercial, business, biomedical, and bulky waste. What is solid waste? It is defined as non liquid, non soluble materials ranging from municipal garbage to industrial waste that contain complex and sometimes hazardous substances. Sources of these solid waste are agriculture, fisheries, household, commerce, and industry. With increasing urbanization and changing lifestyles, cities of developed countries now generate 8 times more solid waste than they used to during the last decade. Generation of waste per capita has increased every year, and in India, the rate of increase is from 1 to 1.3% per year. Disposal and evaluation of these waste resulting from industrial, commercial, domestic, treatment plant, and agricultural activities has become inevitable for municipal corporations. Throughout the country, more than one third of all the waste generated remains unclear on the streets, and what is collected or finally dumped in insanitary dump sites, which pollutes groundwater and degrading the environment. It may lead to many epidemic outbreaks and spread many diseases such as cholera, diarrhea, gastrointestinal disorders, jaundice, and cause loss of human lives. The conversion of organic waste, which have a proportion of 40% in solid waste, to environmentally compatible products and their reuse in the environment are among the primary objectives of integrated waste management. If at this point waste materials are recovered and processed into high quality compost, then sustainable agriculture and environment management is feasible. Waste management techniques. Waste management is the collection, transportation, processing, treatment, recycling, or disposal of waste materials to reduce their adverse effects on human health or amenities. The type of waste management techniques that should be applied for proper management of waste depend on the composition of waste. Different type of waste management is used in practice in cities, including incineration, sanitary landfill, plugging in fields, grinding and discharging into sewers, open burning, etc. Composting is the best method of waste management technique. It is defined as biodegradable, stabilized, and mineralized humus transformation process by bacteria, macro and higher level organisms of decomposable organic constituents in solid waste. It is a biological process that is mainly aerobic and utilizes naturally occurring microorganisms that are responsible for the conversion of biodegradable organic matter into humus like products. Municipal or industrial wastewater sludge and animal byproducts are examples of organic solid waste susceptible to composting. There are so many merits of composting. Biological treatments offer a cost effective, sustainable solution for urban organic waste. In practice, the main biological process applied for solid waste is composting. It is an environmental friendly technology to treat and recycle organic waste. Composting is not only used for the organic fraction of municipal solid waste, but it is also applied to residuals coming from industrial activities. Composting techniques have various advantages such as production of biofertilizers, organic manure, relatively low air and water pollution, low operational cost, and has comparatively high income generation. There are two types of composting. One is aerobic, another one is anaerobic. Aerobic composting is the process of decomposition in an oxygenated atmosphere. Composting starts when appropriate organic ingredients are combined. Raw materials are mixed first and the air is applied in sufficient amount to start the process. The microorganisms rapidly disintegrate oxygen and the precipitated materials eject air out of the pore spaces. Aerobic degradation slows down as the oxygen in the environment decreases and the process stops if oxygen is not provided. The aerobic composting accelerates the decomposition of matter and brings about a higher temperature increases. Actually, this temperature is higher than the temperature required to destroy the pathogens. At the same time, aerobic composting also reduces unwanted odors. In the aerobic composting process, humus is found in the final product and composting rate is 42%. Composting in passive stack. This method is mostly suitable for small and medium sized settlements and has very simple system. Organic materials are pelleted and waited until they are converted into stable product without stirring. The stake height must be greater than 1 to 1.2 meters to ensure adequate air exchange and heat amplification. In this method, the compost pile is warmed due to biodegradation and hard air ascends and separates from the pile. It draws clean and cold air from sides and base. A disadvantage of passive composting is that if the stack is uncontrolled, anaerobic conditions begins and odor problem arise. Composting in transitional stack. This method is one of the most commonly used composting methods. Waste stacks are mixed by tanning to provide air entrainment. Mixed waste as a homogeneous facilitate heat movement and increase the biologically active surface area. Too much mixing reduces the particle size excessively, thereby reducing the void ratio between the particles. This reduces the efficiency by preventing enough air from entering the stack. The time for composting materials such as fertilizer is 8 weeks. If composting is desired to obtain at 3 weeks, the batch should be mixed 1 to 3 times in the first week and to 3 to 5 days in the following weeks. Composting in a ventilated static stack system. Two types of stacks can be formed. One is passive, other one is pressurized ventilation system. In a passive ventilation system, perforated pipes are used. In ventilated system, two topics are examined, that is positive and negative pressures. Passive ventilation system. In this system, perforated pipes are placed in the stacks to provide air inflow into the stack. Ends of these pipes are open, that is, one end of the pipe is open, another end should be closed. Due to the chimney effect caused by the rise of the hot gas out of the sequential stack, the air moves to the pipes and then to the stack. It is a method used for composting animal feces that is come from the milk house with bovine and small cattle farms. When investigations are examined, it has been seen that in this method, composting has performed in the best way at the bulk temperature below 50 degrees Celsius. Mixtures of seafood or peat mass are composted in 6 to 8 weeks, and the animal stool mixtures are composted in 10 to 12 weeks. Compressed ventilation system. The pressurized or compressed ventilation system ensures that ventilation is maintained on a regular basis, reducing composting time and reducing odor when composting odoriferous substances such as sewage sludge. To keep the temperature and oxygen content in the compost stacks within the desired range, perforated pipes are placed under the stacks at intervals as high as the height. One of the pipe is connected to the pressurized air supply and other is closed. If the batch temperature is kept between 55 to 65 degrees Celsius, composting is completed between 1 to 2 months. It is also held for 2 months for maturation. The next way of composting is anaerobic composting. Anaerobic composting is the biodegradation of organic substances in an anaerobic environment. The metabolic end products of anaerobic digestion are numerous intermediates such as methane, carbon dioxide, and low molecular weight organic acids. In this composting process, final product is in the form of mud and composting rate is 33%. Composting in closed reactors. Composting in an enclosed setting reactor is subject to decomposition of the compost raw materials in a closed building, duct, or any reactor. The reason for this, the smell promotes and accelerates the process by reducing the problems and controlling the factors such as temperature, oxygen, humidity, microorganisms, and pH, which are playing a role in composting process. Despite the fact that the first investment cost is the highest, its use has increased in recent years due to the above mentioned features, and labor costs are low and land needs are also low. There are different types of closed reactors are available now. They are piston stream vertical reactor, piston flow horizontal reactor, silo type, horizontal rotary drum reactor, horizontal and open top rectangular tank, mixing vertical reactor, and mixing rectangular bearings. Composting technologies can use to reduce solid waste at the source of production. Various and simple methods are used to compost the organic waste produced in the garden and houses and reduce them in the source. For this, it is firstly necessary to identify the produced waste. It should be decided how much time needed, energy, and time spent for biodegradation after waste characterization. It should be determined which technique should be used. Considering that the conventional composting method requires a lot of work due to stacking, compost balancing, final product discharge, and paving, these methods can be practically used. The methods are pit composting, canal composting, composting in houses, bank and box type, composting on the surface, composting with worms, surface made composting process to plant roots, composting in trash containers. Utilization of solid waste compost in agriculture land. Utilization of this compost from solid waste increases the soil organic matter, which improves soil properties, enhances soil quality, reduces soil erosion, increases plant productivity, and soil microbial biomass. Thus, in the regions where organic matter content of the soil is low, agriculture use of organic compost is recommended for increasing soil organic matter content and consequently to improve and maintain soil quality. Apart from increasing soil organic matter content, application of organic compost can affect soil quality by decreasing the need of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, allowing for more rapid growth in plants, sequestering carbon in soil that has received compost application, improving tillage and workability of soil, increasing soil microbial biomass and activity. Thank you. The waste is good if it is properly held.